Wow, what a great day and what a wonderful day. Good afternoon once again. I welcome you to this virtual platform. Today, what do we have on the screen? Mathematics. Our topic for discussion is statistics, which was started last week. Okay, that is our previous lesson notes, and that is the continuation. The subtopic for today is graphical representation of data. Graphical representation of data. Don't forget that in our previous lesson, we came out with a definition of statistics. We spoke about the importance of statistics, and we learned how to use the tally table to come out with a frequency table. Today we want to look at how we can represent data graphically. How we can represent data graphically using pie charts. Good. Alright, now before we go through this lesson, let's look at our learning objectives. Okay, by the end of the lesson, the student should be able to represent information using pie charts. Okay, how to represent information on a pie chart or using pie chart. And two, state the importance of the chart. The importance of the chart. Students, I want you to take your pen and your notebook as I take you through this exercise. Good. All right, now there is a question on the screen. What is a pie chart, or how do we understand pie chart? When we say pie chart, how are we going to explain pie chart for someone to understand? Okay, those who don't know what pie chart is. When we say a pie chart is the pictorial representation of data using sectors of a cycle. A pictorial representation of data using sectors of a cycle. That becomes a pie chart. Is that okay? Good. Now, when we say pictorial representation of data or pictorial representation of information, we are talking about data being represented in a picture form. Okay, we are using pictures to come out with the representation of data using sectors of a cycle. Good. Now, before we can represent data pictorially using sectors of a cycle, we need to follow some steps. Okay, as you see it on the screen, we have step 1. We have to find the total of the category value. The total of the category value. 2. We have to calculate the angle of sector of each of the category value. Okay, angle of sector of each of the category value. Good. Now, to find the angle of sector of each of the category value, that is the formula you see on the screen. It is the category value, okay, the value that will be given over the sum of the category. That is the result. When we say sum, we are talking about the result times 360. The 360 talks about the total angle of a complete cycle. Then lastly, we have to come up with the sectors on a cycle diagram using angles. Okay, sectors on a cycle diagram using angles. Good. Now let's move on and see what we have in our next slide. Alright, now as you can see it on the display screen, okay, as you can see it on a display screen, this is a pictorial representation of data using the sectors of a cycle. So we have Australia, we have others that we don't know, then we have Canada, we have UK, we have the United States of America, that is the US of A. Don't forget that each of these sectors is made up of angles. Okay, they all have their own angles. Is that okay? So when we say pictorial representation of data using sectors of a cycle, That is what you see on the screen. All right. Good. Now let's look at this activity. Okay, activity number 1. It said in a school there are 750 students in year 1. Okay, 420 students in year 2 and 630 students in year 3. Draw a circle diagram to represent the numbers of students in this group. So we have to come up with a circle diagram or a circle graph. Okay, when we say a circle graph, we are talking about a pie chart. That tells you that another name for a pie chart is a circle graph or a circle diagram. In a school, there are 750 students in year 1, 420 students in year 2, and 630 students in year 3. So we have to come out with what? A pictorial representation of this information using a circle diagram, using a circle graph. Good. Now, don't forget that we said before you come out with this pictorial representation of data using the sectors of a circle, you need to find a total category, the step that we went through. Is that okay? So over here, the category talks about the number of students in the school. So the total number of students is 1,800. Is that okay? What you have to do is to take year 1. Year 1 gave us 750. Year 2 we are having 420, and year 3 we are having 630. So when you put everything together, we will get what? 1,800. Good. Now the second step says that we need to find the angle of sector of each of the category. Okay, so angle of sector of the students in year 1. The total number of students in year 1 gave us 750. So it will be the value. Is that okay? The value in year 1, which is 750, over the total value. Okay, the total value, which is 1,800 by 360. So after simplification, okay, you will get 150 degrees. Without the degree, it's wrong because it becomes a raw value. That is what you have to take note of. Now year 2, the side of the angle, the value over there, that is student in year 2 gave us 420 over the total times 360 degrees. Okay, after our simplification, we got 84 degrees. 84 degrees. Then in year 3, the angle over there is to take the total students in that particular year, which is 630, over the total students, which is 1,800 by 360. And after the simplification, our answer gave us 126 degrees. 126 degrees. Good. Now after the simplification, after coming out with your answers, your angles, what you have to do is to put it on a pie chart. This one becomes a pictorial representation of the information that was displayed earlier on. Is that okay? Using the sectors of a circle. So this one becomes the circle diagram. Don't forget that this diagram is drawn by using the compass, okay, to draw the circle, and the protractor. Is that okay? By using the protractor to come out with the sectors of the circle, that is the angles. The angles, I repeat again, the angles are drawn using protractor, and the circle is drawn using a compass. Do you understand it? Alright, so groups of students in a school and the angle of sector that they represent. Good. Now we have to find the fraction of the students representing year 1. Is that okay? Fraction of the students representing year 1. So the question reads, what fraction of the students represents year 1? What fraction of the students represents year 1? Good. So the number of students in year 1 gave us 750. So that will be 750 out of the total. The total gave us 1,800. Is that okay? Good. So first, what we have to do is to cancel our zeros. So we will be left with 75 out of 180. Good. Now we can use 5 to simplify this. Is that okay? So we say 5 goes into 75, 15, and 5 goes into 180, 36. Good. We can still go ahead and simplify this. So you will have 15 out of 36. Good. So we say that 3 goes here, 5, 3 goes here, 12. So our fraction will give us 5 out of 12. Good. So the fraction that represents year 1 is 5 out of 12. Good. Alright, now let's look at the importance of the pie chart. Importance of the pie chart. 1. It's a simple and easy to understand picture. Is that okay? Don't forget our definition. Okay. The pictorial representation of data using the sectors of a circle. Okay, so it is a simple and easy to understand picture. 2. It represents data visually as a fractional part of a whole. So you saw the circle that was drawn over there. Is that okay? Parts of the circles were taken. Do you understand it? So we took the whole, then we came out with sectors of circle for each of the category or each of the students and the angle that they represent, which can be an effective communication tool for the even uninformed audience. And it is true. Is that okay? 3. It enables the audience or students or individuals to see a data comparison as a glance, to make an immediate analysis or to understand information quickly. Is that okay? So once you see the diagram, you can just come out with the explanation of the information that has been represented pictorially using the sectors of the circle. Good. So with this, we can compare and analyze data. Is that okay? Good. Wow. So a summary of the lesson, a summary of what we just discussed. That means you are bringing the lesson to an end. Okay. We thank God for grace. We discussed that pie charts are represented using sectors of a circle as we saw it earlier on. We also discussed the steps or procedures used to illustrate information on a pie chart. Okay, the steps that we need to follow, okay, to come out with the illustration of the information that will be given to you on a pie chart. Then we also learned the importance of using the chart to represent data. The importance, okay, becomes an advantage as well. Is that okay? This is what we studied today, and I want you to take your study serious as well. Is that okay? The questions that will be given to you won't be difficult if only you have ample time to go through everything that we have studied today or we have learned today. Good. Now, what do we have? Evaluation. Okay. Evaluation. The following table shows the number of students who offer certain subjects in a school. So we have the subjects and then we have number of students. We have mathematics, 45 students offer mathematics, 39 for physics, 30 for chemistry, 28 for biology, 14 for economics, and 36 for history. We have to draw a pie chart to illustrate the information. Don't forget that I said the pie chart is also known as a circle graph. Okay, we have to draw a circle diagram or a circle graph to show the above information given to us on the screen. Then what percentage of students offer economics? What percentage of students offer economics? We thank God for taking us through this lesson. He has been our teacher always since day one, and he has never left us. Students, I want you to take your study serious once again and don't play. Do you understand it? What you have to do is to go through everything that we have discussed, and the sky will be your limit. And until I come your way next time, it's goodbye for now.